Hello friends, welcome to Dr. Rajesh Verma's YouTube channel. Obviously, we are starting a new chapter in this video. That is graduation level, BA first year, first SEM and first topic. As you well know that when there is a initiation of any new discipline, the first topic is always introductory one. Obviously, same thing is here. That is introduction to psychology. So the most important topic, the first small step for a new discipline is its introduction, and it is the responsibility of teachers concerned that they must form a solid base through the introductory part of the discipline. So I will try to do that. If you have any doubt or you want to say anything, you can write in my comment box or you can email me at vermasudit@yahoo.com. So, dear friends, now let us start our first topic of first unit of BA first year, that is Introduction to Psychology. As you know, and as you have voluntarily chosen to study psychology, it's a big, vast, and a field that have its applicability at each and every level. There is a quotation in Hindi, "Jaha jaha insan, waha waha manovigyan." It means wherever there are human beings, there is psychology. See, psychology is not only restricted to human beings. Animals' behavior and their responses and reactions are also studied in psychology. This quotation in Hindi that was quoted by me is just to make you understand that the wide scope of psychology. Psychology doesn't have its limits to laboratory. And very interestingly, I let you know that psychology studied inside laboratory and outside laboratory. Means psychologists work both in the lab as well as field. So you can understand the scope of psychology. This figure which is in front of you is a representative one. The different colors, these different colors depicts the different imagination, different functions, different cognitive functions of human brain. As you know, human brain is a physical organ. The software that works and gives output is known as mind. There is a connection between mind and behavior. We are going to study all these things in this video. Now let us move. We'll start with some interesting sayings and a very interesting experiment. The millennial scientist, as you all know, can you tell me whose image is this? Yes, you are right, Albert Einstein, who proposed theory of relativity. He once said, imagination is more important than knowledge. And what is imagination? Imagination is the free floating of your ideas. That is, mind is behind which type of ideas comes to your brain. That is imagination. In real terms, everyone is a psychologist. One thing interesting to note here is we psychologists dare to say this, whereas no one has this much capacity, let it be physicist, chemist, historian, political scientist, geographer, sociologist, etc., etc. No one is so much dare to say that every human being is a so and so. But we feel proud and feel happy to say that and announce that everyone is a psychologist. You can understand the vast area it covers and its applicability. I think these two statements make it very, very clear to you. And the very interesting thing, psychology often runs against common sense. You will say it may not be true, but scientifically, within a very interesting experiment, Dweck in 1975 proved this. Let us discuss that experiment. She observed that some people give up, you call it some students give up very easily when they face with a little bit hard mathematical problems, and she wanted to help them. How she can help them? So she designed a very interesting experiment. What she does was she made two groups of 25 each people. First group was given easy problems, they can always solve that. And whereas second group was given a mix of easy as well as difficult problems. When the second group people doesn't solve the, or they feel problem in solving the hard mathematical problems, they will approach the Dweck. She always said, you didn't work hard, you try more, you have to work very hard and a little bit more try, that problem can be solved. And this way she motivated them to work hard. That experiment ran for almost 25 days. After 25th day, she again given a new set of mathematical problems similar to both the groups. And these problems were interspersed with easy as well as little bit difficult mathematical problems. What she observed interestingly was that the first group that was solving problems easily gave up easily too when they faced with a little bit hard problem, whereas the second group that was made to solve hard problems as well as easy problems were reluctant to give up. They tried more. What this experiment actually proved is that we feel and we have a common sense that to make an individual confidence, let him or her give some easy problems, then slowly gradually you increase the difficulty level. This is the common sense, whereas this experiment proved that this is not true. Individuals has to be given little bit harder challenges so that they can develop resilience in them, motivation in them to solve these challenges, to meet these challenges, solve the problems. This is psychology, dear friends. So uh, you are, I think, new freshers to UG course in psychology. So one thing very important that is you must remember always, that is psychology often runs against common sense. There are other experiments also, they are beyond the scope of the discussion of that experiments are beyond the scope of discussion in this video. What the meaning of psychology? Oh, it's a very common term. You can Google it and find out also. But here also you can. I'll explain. This psychology as a word has been derived from two Greek words, that is psyche and logos. Psyche means soul. Logos, means science or study of a subject. So earlier, during its infancy stage, psychology was a study of soul or mind. It was. Now it is not now. But now it has graduated to a science that studies human animal behavior and its underlying various processes and experiences through scientific methods. So, dear friends, this is all what psychology means. Some introduction, little bit introductory part. As you know, philosophy is the mother of all subjects. Obviously, psychology also has come from the philosophy. That's why, if you complete your doctorate in any discipline, irrespective of discipline, you will get a degree known as PhD, which stands for Doctor of Philosophy. Because philosophy is the mother of all subjects. Philosophy guides each subject in its path or a lighting facility. Philosophy is a lighting facility for your discipline. So important it is. Psychology is a discipline that covers large range of phenomena. Why? Because it's a science of behavior and mind, where there are human beings or animals or someone who behaves, or there is a role of some mind, there you will find psychology. So it's a very large field. What it does is it seeks to understand the complexity of human behavior in the light of various factors. What are that factors? Biological factors. Why we behave as we behave. There may be some biological causes or biological reasons behind it. What are the social factors? The society in which we live, the group of which we are member, why we behave as we behave in a group. So there are various factors that helps us in understanding the complexity of human behavior. Cognitive factors, situational factors, etc. and etc. To gain insight about the human behavior, psychology uses methods of both physical or natural as well as social sciences. We'll discuss deeply in the next coming slides. As I told you, psychology has a wide scope, wide range of areas it focuses upon. Few of them I'm going to discuss here. Mental health problems or issues. You might have seen people washing their hands again and again. Even their skin is coming out. Still keep on washing their hands. You heard, if you are read English literature, you heard story of Lady Macbeth. These such people who wash their hands, they tend to suffer from OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder. That is nothing but a psychological problem, and that is solved by the psychologist. So psychology does this, diagnose and provide solution to the mental health problems. Perception, you perceive something. See here, both people are right on their own way, but they perceive the same thing differently because the perception, the angle where they are standing, and the object they are scanning with their senses, they looks as to they perceive as per their situation. Why this? Answer of this why is provided by the psychology. Connection between brain and behavior. Attention. Why we attend to something whereas we leave something else. We attend to some loud noise, but when we are talking to someone, there is some bang noise outside, we immediately shift our attention to the bang noise. Why it is so? What prompted you to do so? Why your attention has been shifted? Then why you take stress? When you face your annual examinations, students are found to be more stressful. Why it is so? When they all students, irrespective of that, they are prepared for the exam or not. Those who are prepared for exam well, they are also under stress. Those who are not prepared, those are some jokers. They have total faith on their luck. They don't want to study. They too have some level of stress. Why such stress occur in our brain when we are prepared as well as not prepared for the examination? So that is the area. Then comes your emotions. As you know, a small young infant is lying on the bed and playing. There is a sudden rush of emotions, intense love towards that baby. You just pick up that baby, kiss her, and try to press you that baby towards your chest. That is emotion. And see, immediately that baby passes urine. See, now your emotion just get changes. Right now, you are so cuddling to that baby, so attached to the baby. Immediately, when that individual makes you wet, you feel little bit of different emotions. Now you can understand what I want to say. Why such behavior? Same individual, situation has changed. But why individual behave differently? That is the scope of study of psychology. Then comes your intelligence. Then comes phenomenology. that is the science of study of events. Motivation, you are motivated to do something, you are motivated to listen this video. What for? Because this video is going to help you in your annual examination. You are motivated to see. Your mother, your grandmother is not motivated to see my video because they may not understand what I am saying, because they are not focused on some objective of passing their graduation examination or appearing for their annual examination. But you are motivated for that. So that is motivation. Brain functioning, how your brain function, I'll let you know, brain is the biggest magician of the world. You can do wonders with your brain. So what so special it has? So that is studied by the psychologist. Interpersonal relations, you have your friends with you, your friends in your classroom, your WhatsApp friends, social media friends. And interestingly, why you have these friends? What is there between you and them? Your relations. That is the field of scope of psychology. Group behavior. Why we behave differently when we are in groups and when we are alone? That is also field of study of psychology. Dynamics. What is the group behavior and its dynamics, and resilience and personality? Some people are face problems and they are easily give up, and they feel that depressed, that they are not able to solve that problem, and all why problem occurs to me. Lots of people say this, whereas some people come up and deal with a problem resiliently, they bounce back. So that is resilience. So what is the difference between the person who was give up easily and was not given up easily? What's the difference? There may be difference of some software, difference of some mind. So that is the study of scope of, within the scope of study of psychology. So these are the few things I just discussed. There are thousands of topics and subjects where psychology studies. In traditional Indian literature, there is one thing very important. There is one psychological thought is found, that is in terms of clear distinction between transient self and eternal changing soul. Dear friends, there is a one thing I will let you know, very important point. In Indian literature focuses on two things. The first thing is your self, that is momentary, that is transient, and the second thing is eternal, unchanging soul. So there is a clear distinction between your self and soul, and that distinction provides important source to psychology as a subject. So dear friends, so Indian literature is abound with various thoughts that deals with the philosophical roots as well as the psychological viewpoint. Now let us move to the definition of psychology. There is no such thing, no single definition that can bound this discipline in few words, because the scope of this subject of this discipline is so large. But some psychologist has tried to define psychology. First, psychology is study or scientific study of behavior management. How to manage your behavior, why you behave to certain situations, and what is the scientific base behind that. That behavior can be of human being or can be of animal. What NCRT defines, psychology is defined formally as a science which studies mental processes, experiences, and behavior in different contexts. So there are three clear-cut terms that psychology studied: your mental processes, experiences, and behavior in different contexts. We'll define each this component in detail in the next coming slides. William James in 1880 define psychology as the science of mental life, both of its phenomena and their conditions. So there are a few definitions of psychology you must know, but these are not so comprehensive or full definitions. They are not complete definitions, but almost they define what psychology is and what its areas and what it studies. As I told you, there are three basic components of definition of psychology. We can define each component one by one. Behavior. What is behavior is all know that all outward overt actions and reactions such as talking, facial expressions and movements, these are activities. What we do, in other words, we call it the all responses, reactions and activities we make and that are observable, that are overt, means you can observe with your senses. If I talk, there is a movement of my lips and there is a sound is generated. So this is behavior. But when we sit quietly and think, that is not behavior. That is cognitive activity. That is mental process. That is next is the mental processes. All covert cognitive activities, as I told you earlier, all activities that comes to your mind, such as thinking, your perception, remembering, feeling, knowing, learning, attention, these things come to your mind are mental processes that are not observable by the other human being. Only you can experience them, you can do that. That is, these are known as mental processes. And the third is experiences, the events or occurrences that are embedded in our awareness or consciousness. I'll give an example. The first time you entered in college or university, first day experience, you are right in your time. You are apprehensive. What type of professors you will get, what the subject is, how the function, how the college or university works. Because you found a new freedom in the college. Because there is no uniform, there is no school bus, there is no tie, there is no prayers, nothing formal. So you have no found freedom, and there is a apprehension. What will happen to us in the college? How teachers, the professors take class. So these are the things. You have that experience that is embedded in your awareness. If I ask you, can you tell me your first day in your college? Dear friend, certainly you will have some nostalgic moments because that moments were special to you. You can little bit explain to me how that experiences were, but I cannot fully feel what you felt that time. So these experiences are subjective in nature and they cannot be known to other person. I think you understand my 3 points. That is your behavior, what behavior is, what are the mental processes and what are the experiences. Next comes the psychology is a unique field and unique discipline that has two parallel streams. First one, stream A, psychology as a natural science. Psychology act as a natural science. It uses, why it acts as a natural science? Because it uses methods of physical and biological sciences. It focuses on biological principles to explain human behavior or animal behavior. There is a set pattern what the biological principles are. Principles of biological sciences are, first one, you say there is a theory, formation of theory. Then a hypothesis is generated based on that theory. Then that hypothesis is being tested through various rigorous experiments. Again and again experiments are repeated to test the reliability and validity. Once that hypothesis is accepted or rejected, there is only the two options, either hypothesis will be accepted or rejected. In that case, if required, there should be a modification in theory and same process will take place. So same thing is applied in psychology. This is the first stream, stream A, which has been shown by this a beautiful scene designed by a child. This is the first stream. Second stream is you call it a B stream. See, this is B stream. It uses, or you call it a stream of social sciences. It uses methods of social science and cultural sciences. By focusing on explanation of human or animal behavior between the person and his socio-cultural environment, means that human behavior, how that individual behave when in context of social or cultural environment. See, these two streams are entirely different, but sometimes they seem to converge at a point. Means psychology uses principles of both the streams and come out with a different output. Sometimes they are more apart. Sometimes they converge, seems to converge together. Again, they seems more apart, and this phenomena, this practice goes on. Next is, what is a mind and behavior relationship? A very interesting thing. The mind and behavior are related to or interrelated to each other. We are not saying that. Then who has said this? Yes, you are right. Neuroscientists, various neuroscientists had proved this, suggested that if you visualize in your brain some positive phenomena that can trigger positive physical changes in your body. You can read Ornish. It is there. He has proved this. For example, suppose you are sick. You are feeling some problem. And you visualize that my problem is getting solved slowly, regularly and gradually. And wonder, you find that there is a wonder after few visualizations. Your problem has been solved. Your physical problems can be solved. Even Ornish had said that your blocked arteries that are reason for heart attack or cardiovascular diseases can also be opened with your visualization. So this, who is responsible for these imageries? Is visualization. Your brain and your mind. See the power of your mind. See, these various imageries, mental imageries, have been used to cure various kinds of phobias, physical illness such as blockage in arteries, etc., etc. Indian literature also focuses on that. If you have positive visualization or imageries, you can make your life positive. And you surprised to know that your life will be trouble free. This has been proved various times, various experiments available to vindicate these claims. What imagery do, it mental visualizations do is, they trigger a full spectrum physiological responses. There's the response pattern that has been triggered in your biological systems, in your body, inside your body, which can either help or hinder our health and well-being. Means, if you visualize positive things, they can trigger various type of responses. Responses just that is compatible with your visualization. If your visualization is negative, physiological reactions will be negative, and you will have a negative outcome in terms of physical changes. But if your visualization is positive, so that compatible positive physical changes will come to your body. How wonderful psychology is, dear friends. I think you can very well understand this, and these are widely available on Google. You can check that. Next comes the concept of phantom limbs. Do you know what the phantom limbs are? Phantom limbs means when there is a Professor Ramakrishna has worked extensively on this. He has published a book, Phantoms in the Brain. He explained clearly what are the phantoms. Phantom limbs means, suppose there is a by accident someone has lost his right or left arm or leg. They, after that arm physically has been removed or amputated, that individual has full spectrum of setup in his brain that his arm does exist. And if you provide some things to hold in that arm, they have feeling that I am holding such thing, and if you pull that object away, they try to resist it. That is known as phantom limbs. And the concept of imposter parents. Today, the parents you have, they have turned into imposter parents. Why? Because there is some software change has occurred in your mind, and due to that, this concept has occurred that is known as foster parents or phantom limbs. This is the handiwork of whom? Who studies this? This is the handiwork of your mind, and psychologists and neuroscientists study this. Dear friends, what are the some branches of psychology? Few branches I'll let you know. Cognitive psychology, where we study all cognition. Biological psychology means what are the biological basis of human behavior. Neuropsychology, neurological basis. Developmental psychology, how we develop from a small child, small infant to a full grown adult with all cognitive functions, abstractness and problem solving abilities, etc. etc. That is studied by the developmental psychology. Social psychology, how we behave in a society and why we behave such way. Cultural and cross-cultural psychology, how culture and cross-cultures affect our human behavior or animal behavior. Then comes the environmental psychology, how environment influence our behavior. Then your health psychology, means how our physical health is related to psychological health. There is something is there that is related. So that field, dear friends, is studied by the health psychology. Next comes your clinical and counseling psychology. What is clinical? The study of psychological problems, mental problems, their diagnosis, and probable solutions. And next one is clinic or counseling psychology. We provide counseling services, guidance services in this field. Then come industrial organization psychology, means when people are working in industry, particular organization, how they behave, how they act, and what are the best practices they can apply there for better production. Educational psychology, it's the most important field where psychology has most applications. Sports psychology, you remember the story of Indian athlete Milkha Singh in 1960 Rome Olympics. He was everything to his physical body. He was about to win a gold, but he glanced back. He lacked only at one point. He was not psychologically trained. He was he was not told what is the meaning of importance of psychology, because he was apprehensive, and that if some psychologist had removed that apprehension, he might have won that gold medal today. Forensic psychology, eyewitness testimony is the basic concept where it is used in judicial system. Child and woman psychology, and finally, dear friends, military psychology. You know, psychology started its journey with some military applications, and it has wide applications in military. So dear friends, these are my references. You can always cross check them. And our next video, that will be history of psychology. So by the time, dear friends, if you have any comment to make, especially critical one, you can write in my comment box, or you can email me at vermasudit@yahoo.com. By the time, if you like this video, share with your friends. But if you dislike it, my request, kindly share with me so that I can improve my next video. By the time, thank you very much from a core of my heart for watching this video. Thank you friends once again.